Academy came out in 1984. Have a seat, my love. Are you okay? So the police... So Police Academy came out in 1984.
Yeah, 19 somewhere around there, yeah.
One of the best films I've ever seen, and it was inspired by the writer that saw a group of cadets outside. That's true, isn't it?
Our producer, yeah.
Was it the producer? Yeah.
Yeah, what happened was our producer, Paul Maslansky, was doing a movie, I think it was The Right Stuff.
Yeah.
And he was in San Francisco and he had a day off. So he was walking around and he saw they were having a parade, and he saw these sort of mismatched misfits of police people walking around, and he asked somebody, thank you, Mike, he asked somebody, who are those police people? Because they didn't look like real police people. They were rumpled, they were out of shape, they were all different sizes, and somebody said, well, we don't have enough policemen to patrol the area, so we have cadets. So this producer said, wait a minute, that's a really cool idea. Because years ago in the 20s, they had a movie called The Keystone Cops, which is a very funny group of cops who were sort of crazy. So he thought, maybe I could make the Keystone Cops. So he went to Warner Brothers, who he's working for, and he said, can I develop the movie? He developed the movie, and Paul was kind of, just a working man at the time. And after we did the first Police Academy, on the first night of its release, which was a Friday night, he called me, and this was 1984, and he called me from his Jaguar, where he was driving out of a Hornburg Jaguar distributor on a cell phone, and he said, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire in one night. And Police Academy went on to be one of the biggest earners of that day, and we are still one of the biggest franchises ever. And we're so lucky to be in it. And I gotta tell you, we were all talking, we love you. We are so happy and grateful for the love that you show us for the last 35 years. You've started our careers, we've become world famous because of you, and we really owe it all to you. So, we feel the love that you have right now for us. And when you talk to us online and when you're sitting here, we love you too. So thank you so much for coming. And we really appreciate you being here. We love you.
Let's give some magic to love.
I gotta tell you, Leslie, you correct me if I'm right or wrong, wasn't Police Academy after the first one because of you guys and your arena and entertainment? It's a pattern after the Carry On movies, right?
Yeah.
So you guys inspired us, and thank you once again.
Marianne, this is going to be emotional, Marianne. I'm going to be crying by the end of this Q&A, honestly. So let's just give the Police Academy a little bit of context. So the first movie was made on a budget of 4.1 million back in the 80s, which was a lot of money back then.
Canadian dollars is 25%.
Really? Sorry, do you want to say that again?
$4.1 million with Canadian conversion came out to 5.2. So we had a little bit more to spend.
So that's how much it made, and have a guess how much it actually made at the box office. 81.8 million. That's absolutely amazing.
And in today's dollars, that's $250 million.
Wow, that's amazing. Like, you wouldn't ever, did you ever think that obviously the film like that, when you guys were making it, when obviously it was pitched to you, did you ever think that it'd be as successful as it is?
We had no bloody idea. we knew something important was going on, but we kind of figured out by the time the second or the third one, hey, maybe this is a good idea.
Well, I gotta tell you something. When I first got the script, I got finished doing a movie called Diner. And thank you. Anybody see Diner? Anybody? If you haven't, it's really a great movie. Mickey Rourke and Kevin. I was so young. And I remember getting the script, and I thought that, first of all, the script really made me laugh. Neil Israel and Pat Proft wrote it, and then Hugh Wilson, our director, who was really brilliant. He did a television series called WKRP in Cincinnati. I don't know if have you ever seen that? Was that over here? And it was really great show. And I thought it was a cross between Stripes, an Officer and a Gentleman. And I thought this was really funny, and if they make it right. And I got a feeling about Hugh Wilson. And I remember I got an audition for the movie, and my father actually was a New York City policeman. He was on special ops, which means he was a kind of a crazy cop, my father. He would jump from buildings and sleep in trash cans, and not in real life, but to catch cops, to catch dirty cops, and to catch criminals. So I had a screen test, and it was actually offered to Michael Keaton, and he had just done Night Shift, and he was sort of getting a lot of heat, and he didn't want to even read the script. So they had an audition, and it was between me and this guy named David Naughton, who was most famous from doing these Dr. Pepper commercials. Really talented guy, and much more talented than me. We did the audition, I did the screen test, and my father gave me his Police Academy shirt, the original Police Academy shirt that he wore in the New York City Police Academy. So I wore that as a lucky charm for my audition, my screen test. And at the end of it, I saw David Naughton's audition, and it was really great. And I thought I didn't get the part, so I went home to my little apartment, which was a one-room apartment, where I pulled out a couch to sleep on the couch. Murphy bed, exactly. Eddie Murphy bed. And I got a call from Paul Maslansky, the producer, and he said, listen, I got to tell you something. Both auditions were really good, and I got to tell you, David Naughton is really talented. This guy could sing and dance and all that. But for some reason, while we were watching the audition, the screen test, the executives from Warner Brothers stood up and said, we want that guy. And I really owe it to my father's lucky shirt. So, Police Academy, I know, changed my life in such an amazing way, and created such an experience for myself, my family, and my friends. And it's really all because of you. So I feel how much love there is in the room right now. You guys are giving off so much love and kindness. And I just want to tell you, every day I thank you, and I love you guys so much. So thank you so much. Thanks for coming. I know, this is my first Comic-Con, so to be able to be up here with my friends and be in a room with you guys, this is a joy, because when you do films, there's 100 people on a set, and it's a crew. But we really get to meet you and to talk to you and see what you like and feel the love that you have. So thank you so much. Thank you.
This is first Comic-Con. Imagine when he gets to number 10.
I'm literally just about to cry. Is everyone feeling the love in the room right now in Manchester? Come on, guys. It's amazing. I'm going to cry in a minute. So I'm just going to go through a couple of scenes that people have put online that we particularly loved. One of my favourite scenes was you, Leslie. Let's give it up for Lieutenant Debbie Callahan. So Debbie Callahan's character in Police Academy was a very strong female character, and she could kick ass. You didn't mess with her. So I just wondered, Leslie, what was it like, obviously in the 80s, playing a very strong female character?
It was like being let out of jail. Because especially when you're my size, I'm tall, I grew up heavy. You didn't, pardon me. You were a girl.
So Debbie Callahan, who made her own decisions, and if she liked somebody, she wanted them now, was just, it's so overt, an overt character, a character who's strong, who's tall, who's like, you know, ready to help, wants to save the planet, but help people who are in trouble, and that's when cops are handy. So it had so much in the mix, and the scene that I got to read for the audition was amazing and funny, and I thought if the whole script is like that, I would give my right arm and then be an armless cop, and that would be a first too, you know. And everything turned out to be really wonderful. We made great relationships. We're all still dear friends. We all want another Police Academy movie because we just want to be on set together. And when you're working on a set and everybody kind of knows each other and the crew is in sync with everybody else, it is such a joyful experience to get to work with people that you know and love. And these people I know and I love.
So one of my favourite scenes with Leslie is when there's a scene where she kind of rips open a guy's top. I just wondered for you, what was that scene like? Do you remember that scene where it was like...
The thing is, I remember the one where I ripped open my top.
See, I was going to say that. I didn't want
And that was liberating. You know, I've been doing it ever since, and it just, I'm kidding. But to be able to, oh God, I have one thing to tell you about that scene.
Yeah, was it embarrassing or was it okay when you
When
co-star?
I read this scene, before I went to Toronto where we shot the movie, and they took an old insane asylum and they made it into a movie studio, and it worked as a movie studio for years. But in that scene, the shirt comes open, therefore you're wearing a bra. I went to the drugstore and bought the cheapest Playtex 12-hour bra you can find. And it was, I mean, it's dull looking, it's white at least, but I thought, this is a tough cop, you know, she's not going to wear laces to work. So at any rate, I got to Toronto and we're having a fitting for the movie, getting my uniform together. And I said, by the way, I brought Callahan's bra. And they said, oh no, Paul wants it to be one of those really lacy things that you can sort of see through. And I said, I don't think she's the kind of, anyway, I won the battle.
That was, yeah, brilliant story. Look at that. Thank you for lighting that up for us. We really enjoyed that story. Thank you, Leslie.
Well, wait, that 12-hour bra lasted 35 years.
Not like my
12-hour bra.
It's not like my life is inactive.
Marion, at the end there, I love your character, Lieutenant Cadet Hooks. She had a very high voice in particular scenes. I just wondered, how did you prepare as an actress? I mean, did you take lessons off the legend Michael here that can do all the voices, or, I mean, how did you prepare, how did you get your voice so high like that to do Hooks?
No, listen, let me tell you what's real. Let's just be real, okay? It's just you and I talking, okay? Now listen, I was in a show called Little Shop of Horrors. In LA. And I didn't even want to go to LA because I hated California. I'm from New York. And so, you know, I saw the show in New York and I said, oh, this is the silliest, you know what I mean, starts with an S, that I've ever seen in my life. It's like a live cartoon on stage. So I got down on my knees and prayed to God. I said, God, you know how much I hate California. And then God gave me an answer and said, girl, you gotta go. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna treat it like a vacation, a working vacation. So I went to California, and then this particular night, we were supposed to do the Carson show, and the Carson people were looking at the show to see if we were necessary. The three urchins, you've seen the movie Little Shop, right?
Yeah, it's
okay,
great.
you've seen the movie. So anyhow, working with Ellen Green, who was in the movie, she wanted us in the show, and the Carson people didn't want us in the show. So she got tickets for them to see the show, and then and to see if we were necessary. And the bottom line is that night, in the dressing room, we get ready for the show, And they said, you know, you have some special guests in the audience. And then we're thinking, yeah, the Carson people, right? They said, Michael Jackson is in the audience.
Whoa, Michael Jackson in the audience.
Michael! So all three of us got said, well, you know Michael's in love with me. Well, Michael wants me to have his baby. You know, Michael wants me to move into Never Never Land or whatever land that is. Anyhow, the bottom line is that, so Michael came backstage after the show, and we didn't know. I mean, we were singing, Little Shop, where's Michael, where's Michael, where's Michael? He's looking at me. And the next thing I know, the show is over and we're tired because we spent more energy than we normally do because Michael Jackson might discover me. And so the bottom line is that I'm going up the stairs from the dressing room, and who's standing at the top of the stairs? Michael Jackson. So Michael says, you girls were fantastic. I just love you in the show. And he kissed me on the cheek. Well, I knew I was pregnant by then. Kissing me on the cheek, Michael Jackson, I'm pregnant. I don't care if it's a boy or a girl. Anyhow, the bottom line is that next day, little did I know, my agent calls me. Michael hung out with us for 45 minutes, and then he wanted to walk us to our cars and all of that stuff. And you know, we said, Michael, we have our own cars, we rented cars. Well, then can you come home and play with me? Oh. We said, Michael, no, we gotta work. We got a matinee the next day. Well, anyhow, he looked, you know, can I walk you through your cars? So he walked us to our cars. Bottom line is, the next day I get a call from my agent. He says, you impressed somebody with your performance, and Tony Golden Jr. saw you in the show. You know who Tony Golden Jr. is? The heir to MGM, the G. Goldwyn, and he played in Scandal, the TV show, the president. So he discovered me, and then I got a call saying they wanted to do a screen test, and that's how I got the movie. And then I used Michael Jackson's voice to do the character of Hooks.
Wow.
So you're Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson's voice.
But see, you never know when your miracle is gonna come. You never know. You can't plan that, something like that. So it was like, oh my God, you know. So it's a miracle, and then I got to, you know, do my thing. So, and I wore a fat suit in the movie, by the way, because I was a diva up and through there.
Wow, what a great story. Thank you, Marion. Wow, round of applause. Wow, I didn't know that was going to be the answer. Wow. So, Michael, you are...
Yes, the other Michael.
So... So, Michael, I believe that you can do over 10,000 voices now.
We're way past that. Remember video games too.
Wow. You are one of the most talented people, voice actors I've ever... Round of applause for that. You're a very, very talented guy. So, I want to get back to your childhood. I want to find out where this inspiration was. So, I believe that when you were younger, you lived by an airport. So you kind of listen to the sounds of the planes coming in.
Yeah.
So was that kind of your inspiration to kind of like listen to the different sounds and kind of practice them and learn them?
Obviously, I didn't have a lot of friends. So I found myself being the stuff I heard. You know, 4 o'clock in the morning on an Air Force base. Mom's going, there's nobody flying at 4 o'clock in the morning. Who's doing that? It's a 6-month-old baby making noises. That's me.
I love
That got me kicked out of class. Yes, the talking squirrel on the teacher's desk is not funny. Yes, it is. Oh, for all you Pokemon fans, I keep getting all these requests. Okay, here we go. Hurry, Pikachu! Electric Thunderbolt! Team Rocket's blasting off for you!
So, Police
That was
Academy.
sorry.
Some of my favourite scenes in Police Academy were with Mahoney, you, and G.W. Bailey, because you used to play so many tricks on G.W. Bailey. Like, I loved him, he was amazing.
Lucky for GW wasn't. He's lucky. He's real lucky.
So, did you guys have a good relationship? Because obviously you guys were always playing tricks on him, like
We do.
Harris was always getting all the horrible tricks played on him through security.
Yes,
Remember
practical
when he kind of made him unchanged? Remember that scene when he was going through security? Do you remember that? I love that scene.
We did a lot of practical jokes, but not on Bubba Smith. Bubba would go, "Y'all go ahead, I'm waiting for you." We knew better.
Bubba's kind of big.
Kind of big.
Hi, Baba. I also love some of the scenes, obviously, with Mahoney and Harris, because you were pretty mean to G.W. Harris, you know? You kind of blacked out his eye, all the different, like, little tricks that you played on him. What was the relationship like between you and G.W. Harris?
First of all,
G.W. Bailey.
when I first met GW, we had a few weeks, we had like a couple of weeks before we started shooting to sort of get to know each other, which was really smart. And GW, first of all, I always find the villains of the movies are always the nicest people in the world. It's so weird, you know, before I met GW, I'm thinking I'm gonna meet a really mean guy. And in walks GW, the nicest fella in the world, and he's the kind of guy who said, and he's a great chef, and he had a gumbo party at his apartment. He had a kitchen and everything, and he made this incredible gumbo. You guys know what gumbo is? It's a big soup with all kinds of shrimp and everything. It's kind of a New Orleans, Texas recipe, and it was great. Everybody loved it. And we all got to know each other really, really well. So GW, not only is he the nicest guy in the world, but he's actually an incredible actor. He was recently in shows called The Closer and stuff like that. But he's also an acting teacher. So when I was working with him, we were all working with him, we're not only working with an actor, but we're working with an acting teacher. So when you work with somebody like that, your game gets better. And we had such a great time. He was such a really good sport playing the villain, who always got his comeuppance. But you know what? The deal about playing a villain is the better the villain is, the more heroic the heroes are. And we could never have been as funny or as likable or as heroic. The cadets could never be that way without a great villain. So the writers and the producers and the director made GW very powerful. And you know, you had a fear of him, knowing how smart he was, but and because we beat him in essence, we were heroic and great and more funny. So we owe so much to GW for being such a great actor and becoming such a great villain. So GW, you're not here, but we love you.
Say nothing of the fact that GW introduced me to Kelly Nakahara, who introduced me to my husband.
Oh.
So I say he does the nicest things for people. And all because GW was on MASH. I don't know, did you get the American series MASH yet?
Yeah, MASH, yeah.
My husband was a writer on that and also one of the producers on that. And Kelly Nakahara was Nurse Kelly in that. So that's kind of all how they all knew each other. And GW sort of is the reason I'm married.
Please come in.
The TV series MASH.
Wow.
He was Sergeant Rizzo of the TV series MASH. I noticed here in the UK you run the series MASH with no laugh track. Very good.
So what we're going to do now, we're going to do a Q&A. There is a lot of people I know that want to ask these guys questions. It's been over 30 years since these guys have been amazing. So, well, let's get some questions from you guys. Wave at me, where are you? I can't see you. Yeah, where's the lady? Ah, here we go. This lady here. Hi, did any of you take any souvenirs from the set? Did anyone take any souvenirs from the set?
A husband.
I took a uniform. I don't have it now. Something happened to it, but the bottom line is that they gave me a duplicate uniform. I said, "Oh." So, you know, anybody here from Warner Brothers? I don't have it.
I actually took Carrie Mahoney's shield, and I took his baton, and I took a couple of other things. I knew, I mean, I'm pretty, I have good instinct. And when we were done with the movie, I said, this movie is going to be really great. And it was a small movie for Warner Brothers. So I stole as much of the wardrobe as I could. Because I really knew there was going to be a hit. I really did.
I took home Callahan's Playtex Living Raw.
I can still fit in my original shirt. I can still fit, I have the shirt. But the best part is, what I took away from it, the ability to not live in my car anymore. So I was mobile homeless, but not anymore. After that movie, I had a small oven to live in, a small apartment. Yeah, even the cat was small.
So they all got souvenirs and a marriage. That's your answer.
So we're always looking for more souvenirs.
Don't be shy. Any more
Anything
questions?
at all?
Just check
Anything?
in.
Don't be
Yeah.
shy. Question over there? Here?
Hi. Okay. Is there going to be a new Police Academy movie?
That is the question we've been waiting for.
Next, the Police Academy movie.
Yes, there is going to be another Police Academy movie. They are developing over Warner Brothers, and they are going to give you an amazing movie, Right now, Paul Maslansky, our producer, and they've got, Jordan Peele, Key and Peele, they developed the script, and there have been about 8 or 9 scripts already, because Warner Brothers really wants to make it right for you. So at some point soon, there's going to be another Police Academy, and I promise you, it's going to knock it out of the park. You're going to laugh your asses off. Are we allowed to say asses? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we love that.
Can't say off.
The sooner the better, because police officers in the U.S. retire early.
Wow. So what do you think? Police Academy premiere 8 on this stage? What do you think?
Okay. Any Star Wars fans out there?
Just this gentleman here in the black. Okay, if you just want to come out to that. I think we should call it Police Academy 8 Mayhem in Manchester. What do you think, guys? Yeah?
There's one guy we'd love to have up there on the stage today, but can't be. Have you got any George Gale stories?
The Police Academy is only as a joke.
Well, George Gaines, first of all, was the classiest guy you could ever meet. His manners were impeccable. 6 languages. He was an opera singer. He could sing like a bird. He was so beautiful. He had that beautiful voice. And I don't know if you guys have seen Tootsie, the movie Tootsie. Well, he played, the soap opera star, and who was in love with Dustin Hoffman. He's such a brilliant actor. If you look at his credits and watch his movies, since he was young, he was on stage, he sang, he was so brilliant. And I remember when we did the podium scene, I don't know if you remember that. I was supposed to be under the podium with a porn star and a hooker. And George is at the podium saying a speech, and underneath the podium, something is going on, which you're all adults, and I'm sure you know what was going on. And I asked George, I said, George, and it was hysterical. If you watch that scene, it was just hysterical. And I was watching him film it, and I just couldn't, everyone was laughing so much, they had to tell everybody to stop laughing. It was so funny. And so afterward, I said to George, George, when you were doing that scene, what were you thinking of? Were you thinking of, some sort of acting class, or were you thinking of some sort of Stanislavski, which is an acting school? He said, no. I was thinking, when I was 17, we went behind the barn, and I did exactly that. So I was thinking of being behind the barn, and I think her name was Mary Lou Estrella, and it was me and Mary Lou Estrella, and thank God for Mary Lou Estrella. That's who made the scene funny. And I just couldn't believe it. He was a great actor. And God bless you, George. We love you.
We love you. Okay, next question. Where are you? I can't see you. Wave at me. Oh, you're back. Okay, hi. Hello, what's your question?
I just want to say thank you for spending time with us fans. It's always
It's our pleasure.
I just want to ask, especially for all of you, what was your favourite scene to film of any of the films?
Damn you! I'll show you on the way. My name.
Of course, you know my favorite.
See, it's hard to think of something when
You know, my
everything you
favorite
did
scene
in a
is-
particular movie was so much fun to do. It's really hard to think of what was the. Well, it was fun to rip my blouse open. You know. What? Well, it was fun to get wet because it was a hot day. Bubba Smith did not come, was not called into work, if you know who Bubba Smith is, Hightower. And so I thought, well, that's good because he would probably tease me. So I had to, you know, get in the water and wear the wet t-shirt and say, who's next, you know? And I get out of the pool and I look up and there's Bubba standing there. He knew it was the day I was getting in the pool and he came all the way out to the set just to watch. So I thought, you know, what a good guy, you know, a little support. He was giving me support.
Okay, everybody, you know what my favorite scene is? Want to say it with me? Don't move, dirtbag!
Just quickly to sort of go back to George Gaines. I had known George Gaines. I'd worked with George Gaines on Broadway, and I adored him and his wife. And I knew the kind of comedy he was capable of, and I'm reading the script, and it comes to the podium scene, right, where the hooker is behind the podium, and I had this vision of George's face doing exactly what it did in the movie, and I slipped, I was in a chair, an easy chair, and on the edge, and I slid out and fell flat on my ass on the floor. And just thinking about George made me so overcome with the giggles, and then I look at that scene when they shot it, and it's even much better than it was in my mind before he did. So.
And there's only one more scene that is my favorite scene. It's the scene with Bubba Smith when he gets kicked out of the academy, and Bubba protects me when he turns the car over, and then I put my arm around him and pat him on the back. That scene meant a lot to me because Bubba, you know, he wanted me to do number 7, which I wasn't in, and I wish I had been in it. But Bubba offered to give me half of his paycheck. And who does that, right? Who says to the producer, I'll give her half of my paycheck? Because they couldn't use everybody in number 7. And the bottom line is that Bubba stood up for me and he said, I want her in the movie or else I'm not going to do the movie. And he didn't do the movie because they wouldn't, you know. So hats off to Bubba in heaven.
My favorite scene is when the police car got surrounded by the mob. Do you remember that? And we couldn't get out and we were trapped inside there. And there was one person who made a certain sound that dispersed the crowd. Does anybody remember what that sound was?
All right, please everybody. Lunch.
But my favorite sound was when Michael went and everybody dispersed. Wow, I learned something. That's a like 1/1,000,000th of his talent, but I threw that in there. That was it. That was my favorite. But you know,
Very good, Mahoney.
But one of my favorite movies was scenes in the movie was when George Gaines had the goldfish, and he would play with the goldfish. That was just brilliant. But really, filming every scene in the movie was so much fun because everybody is so talented and so funny. We had really funny directors.
And the scripts were good.
And the scripts were great. And, you know, it was one of those magical series, one of those magical franchises that every day we laughed. And we wish you guys could be there every day because you would laugh your arses off.
It's so wonderful to be in that state where you can't wait to get to work. Every day, you're leaving, you can't wait for the next day because you want to go to work. Are you kidding? But it really was that kind of experience. All of them. Some were more fun than others, and that's what it depended on. Crew, director, you know, script. But if they all could have been the first one, it would have been great.
But you know what? We all look out for each other as a team. And that very rarely happens, you know, in Hollywood, you know, everybody wants me. We all looked out for each other and said, well, you know what? I think that's not a scene for me, you know, like I did for Leslie. It was something that Callahan would say, not something that Hooks would say. And then they realized that, you know what? They were right. So, I mean, Hooks doesn't do long speeches. And another scene that I loved was, I think it was number 6, when we were in an alleyway and guys came up to Callahan and myself and said, you know, they were threatening us, and Callahan's, because she was always for me. Remember when I got over the wall, she was the one that was happy for me. And, you know, the guys were threatening, and she says, Hooks, go get back up. And I'm like, but I don't want to leave you. You believed in me. And she says, now. And I was like, and I had to run out of the scene. But she took on those bad boys, didn't you, girl? You took on those bad boys.
Oh, yeah.
With the karate. The karate scene.
You kicked ass, Leslie, didn't you?
Kung Fu is very good.
Leslie, you kicked ass at Police Academy. You kicked ass.
Anybody other questions?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Questions.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Right there. Another question right there. Right there. Where's our guy?
Come over.
Right there.
Lady
Look at
here.
the young lady over there. Right there.
This way, you fool!
This is a question for Steve.
Steve, yeah?
If you were given both scripts today, one for Police Academy and one for Short Circuit, which would you take?
Well, what I would do is I would ask Michael to do my voice, and I would ask the girls to do an impression of me, and I would do both of them, because I wouldn't want to miss either Short Circuit or Police Academy. Both. But great question.
Great question.
Thank you.
Anyone
Thank you so
else?
much.
Questions?
What? Any other questions? Anybody else? Don't be shy. Right here in the front row.
What about here? Come
Right here in the front row. Sitting with the boss.
Here he goes.
Right here.
No, back!
Junior.
This way, you fool! This way! This way!
Right there, right
Get
there,
go!
right there. Very good. Very good. Wow, good. Thank you.
Just a quick question. How did Avalanche go about, and how did you get involved?
Right.
Steve.
Well, you know, I've been wanting to do a giant spider movie forever because I think spiders are really scary. You guys think spiders are scary? I think they're super scary. So, a friend of mine came to me, a guy named Mike Mendez, and he did a movie called Big Ass Spider, which was one of these really funny movies, super funny movies, and kind of scary. So, the Sci-Fi Channel said, we want to do this big ass spider movie, but call it Lavalantula, spiders that breathe fire. And when I was talking to the producers, I said, wouldn't it be really great that if all of us from Police Academy were involved in the movie, it would be much better. And that's how it came about. Producers said yes, all the cast said yes, we had a great time. Thanks for asking that. We had a great time on that movie. Really great.
Great story.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, final question.
Oh, come on. Who else? Another question right over there?
Yeah, okay.
Question? Right there. On the aisle. The man with the
Use your motorcycle, man. Just ride on over there.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
How did you all keep a straight face working with Bobcat?
First of all, Bobcat is nothing like that character. He later went on to produce, is it Jimmy Kimmel Show? Yeah, and Bobcat was just the mildest, meekest, nicest guy that you would want to ever meet. See, a lot of us, we play these characters, but the bottom line is that, you know, hey, offset, he was like, hey, Hooks, how's it going? And all of that. So I call that great acting, really. And he's an amazing talent. And so I give him his props.
Bobcat? You want to say anything about Bobcat?
He was actually a good writer. You know, and
He's a very good director also.
Director. I've worked with him.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
We love Bobcat. And actually, I met him when his name was Bob. So I call him Bob. And whenever somebody goes, no, it's Bobcat. I go, oh yeah, right, Bobcat. I forgot Bobcat, right, Bobcat. But I actually introduced him to his first wife. Because his first wife was driving me to and from the set. And he said to me, Ann.
She was a driver.
She was a driver. And he said, she's really cute. So I said, what you do is get in the car with me when I drive to set, and you guys will start chatting. And before I knew it, they had a baby. And I think maybe in the car. I think they may have done it in the car. So, any other questions? Anybody? We love you guys. Right over there, the gentleman in the Gizmo shirt, right over there. Right over there. You got. By the way, what's your name, sir? Oh, it's not
John
on.
Luke, it's called John Luke. John Luke.
Johnny, thanks for doing this for us. A round for Johnny. A round for Johnny. And right there, the Gizmo. He has he's like a handsome guy. That handsome guy over there.
Hi, Michael's basically just asked you if you could do the cyborg part of the movie where
Cyborg.
Sorry.
Oh my God, what an epic
Kaiju.
wow. That is insane. Okay, last question.
In the back, in the back.
John Luke. Way at the back. Last question. Okay.
You can do it. Well, as a send-off, we have the Police Academy theme tune from you.
Police Academy.
I thought he was going to ask for the Blue Oyster song.
I was trying to find out, knowing we were going to come here, trying to find out where I had put some lyrics that attuned and the whole lyrics of that thing that we used to sing. And they were,
Work on it tomorrow. Maybe find a song.
I don't know. I can find it.
Yes. Well, your turn. Why? What are you saying no? Hey, you better, man. There's a Dalek behind you. You will sing the song now.
This lady at the front, John Luke.
Johnny. Up front, Johnny.
This lady. Okay. Batman.
Of course. Where do you start? Where do you want to start? Batman? That's Christian Bale with the cowl on, okay? Next, Wonder Woman.
You have to tell me the truth. The last of makes you want to talk.
Hey, I'll tell you anything you want, baby. All right.
Okay, last question, yeah.
absolutely. First of all, we're all going to be in it. And after Police Academy 4, I was working a lot. And every time they were going to do another Police Academy, I was busy. And, you know, because there was such a great demand for the movie, and I was just one character, and there were so many other characters, they said, we're just going to keep on making them. I was really sorry I wasn't in it because I wanted to be with all my buddies. But, you know, I thought at 5, 6, and 7 were amazing, really, really funny. I wish I was in them. But the next one I'm going to be in. So it's going to be great. Yeah, thank you. Look, any other questions? Don't be shy. We love you. Right there. Captain America. Captain America. That gentleman right there. Beautiful, handsome man right over there. Right there. It's Captain America right there. Right there. Thank you.
Little Avenger there.
Hi, Captain!
This one's for Michael. Can you do the Space Invader sounds?
Space Invader sounds.
We gotta ask Captain Kirk about that. Let's see, Space Invaders.
So, you know that Michael is a huge... So, any questions?
Does Captain America have a question?
Okay, this lady, please get that in front.
My dream come true would be you come up here and give me a hug.
That's nice, you can cry. Just come up this side, my love. Come up this side. Aww. Melanie meets Steve. Aww.
Anybody else? Questions? Anybody? Anybody want a hug? Free hugs? Anybody else? Don't be shy.
Back there. That's my hug back there.
Yeah. Right there, Johnny.
Okay, this gentleman here at the front.
Thank you for coming up on stage.
Thanks, John Luke. Thanks, Melanie.
Hi, this is Steve.
Steve, yeah?
Oh, wow. First of all, The Goldbergs is a really funny show. Really funny show. And it's actually written by a guy really named Adam F. Goldberg, who played in one of the characters is Adam F. Goldberg. Really funny, a brilliant writing staff, incredibly A-game, and I just had a great time doing it, playing Dr. K and a science teacher. So I'm hoping next season they'll bring me back. I think they are, and we'll do some more episodes. Thank you for bringing that up. It's so nice of you. Thank you. Who else? Any other questions? We love you guys. Right there. Johnny, right there.
Okay.
Question for Michael.
Michael, yeah?
With all of your impressions, if any impression of the character Z?
Character Z.
I don't think that's really funny. Thank you very much.
Who's that now? It's great.
That's
Wow.
perfect.
Who else? Anybody? Right there, the man in the hat. Right there.
Gentleman in the hat, LA hat. So say that again, slow down please, sorry.
The White Shadow. Wow. That was 19 somewhere around there.
Ken Howard.
And Kevin Hooks and John Mingotti. And I remember that was my
Tim Van Patten.
That was one of my first episodes on television ever, and it got me an Emmy nomination.
Wow, Emmy nomination. Wow. Wow. Who else? Anybody else? That gentleman, handsome man right over there in the blue shirt.
John
Wow.
Luke,
I didn't think they let that really handsome guys in. Wow, it's amazing. Yes, sir.
Will you be making a remake of Police Academy?
Well, as we said, we're working on scripts right now. They're lining up a director, and before you know it, you're gonna have one on the big screen, and you're gonna have a ball.
Oh, I'm so excited about that, honestly. I think we should definitely call it Mayhem in Manchester. I'm going to pitch that. I don't think they're going to take it, but Mayhem in Manchester.
Anybody else? Anybody? The gentleman in the white, right behind you, Johnny. Right there.
Last question. Michael?
See, appeal from a character perspective, who would make a better single father? Like when you're in the female and a little lady, or you're going to the baby. Who would be the best single father if you had to raise that child on your own?
Who would be the best single
Who would
father?
be the best single father? I'm gonna be selfish. I'm the best single father. I would be the best single father. Me. You know, if you ask an actor, how's everything? Me.
If you don't mind saying, can you just answer a great question, Dirtbag?
It was a great question, Dirtbag. Great question. Anybody else? We love you guys. Right there, there's a gentleman over there, Johnny.
Tom Selleck is a blue blood.
Right there. Right there, the man, the tall man with a beautiful shirt on.
Continue the sounds you play on Spaceballs.
Spaceballs sounds, Michael.
Oh, with Mel Brooks. Well, what's the problem? I've got the bleeps and the sweeps and the creeps in my freezer.
Anybody else? That gentleman over there, Johnny. We're giving Johnny a workout. Look at Johnny, he's so young and handsome. And go, Johnny, go. There he goes. Go, Johnny. You got it. Right there. Thanks, Johnny.
Thanks, Pete. I'm so pleased, privileged to see you all. My quick question is, as actors, I'm there to develop your own characters. I know yourselves, you have to learn. How did you develop your own character?
So character development, did you kind of put the spin on it, or was it kind of said to you to do that character? Your own spin on the character?
You want to know how I developed my character? Well, I parodied it after Michael Jackson, like I said earlier. But the interesting thing is that for me, because I wasn't really like the girl that I played, a lot of times they wouldn't let me on the set. They thought I was, an extra or something. And then they say, ma'am, you need to go this way. And I'd say, but I'm Hooks. And then they would say, oh my God, so I was like playing, I was like two people. But the thing is that a lot of people, like this cast, Steve is the sweetest sweetheart and the most giving, amazing guy. And I want to have his baby. And Michael, I want to have his child too. Michael's amazing, and so Michael is like totally like quiet when he's not doing what he's doing now. He's just quiet and laid back and all of that. Leslie, on the other hand, this girl is amazing. She's more like Hooks than I am in real life. You're more like Hooks, and I'm more like Callahan in real life. So it's just, these are a wonderful group of talents that I have the honor to work with. And the ones that are not here, they're amazing also. So, so there's...
Have you made your character?
I'm reading it out loud to myself in my bedroom because I took it into a quiet place. It made itself. I mean, don't you find that with like actors, or even when you're reading a report or something, that when you start to talk about it or read it out loud, it has a life of its own. It has it's a kind of a special being. It's an add-on, and I always wanted to say things like Callahan would say, and be tough, and look for the answer to the question, and like question things that you didn't quite understand, but not letting anybody get ahead of you in terms of getting to the point where you all need to be. So and making a cooperation out of making the cooperation an industry. Yeah.
Remember when Hugh Wilson sat down with us? He said, "Okay, listen up, y'all. If the script is already funny, don't you make it funny. Let it be funny." I remember that.
My character, I don't know if you remember, there was a really great actor named James Garner, and he was a big movie star. Do you guys remember James Garner? Rockford Files and The Great Escape and Tank and, you know, The Notebook and all that. And Maverick, he was
Jennifer Garner's father.
Jennifer Garner's father. And he was a great actor. And I thought he would have, if they made Police Academy when he was 20, he would have been the perfect guy. So that's who I wanted to channel, was James Garner. And thank God our director, Hugh Wilson, said that's the right way to go. And I just did what I was told, and I was very, very lucky. So thanks for asking that question. Really great. Anybody else? Oh, that beautiful lady in the back. That's a beautiful. We have to do. Can we do one more for that beautiful lady in the back?
Last final
One more. Thank you.
I rode in an elevator with James Garner once. I told him he was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it's working. Yeah, it's working.
We're watching you!
What did you guys grow up watching? So she grew up watching.
What movies were we
you guys,
watching?
As movie stars when she was younger.
When
What
we
did
were
you
growing
guys
up.
grow up watching?
I was watching movies like The Great Escape and The Graduate, and those were some of my favorite movies. Steve McQueen, The Sand Pebbles, you know, great movies. Casino. I mean, you know, I love Steve McQueen movies, and I love Cary Grant movies. Bringing Up Baby and Gone with the Wind, and some of my great, you know, my favorite movies. The Marx Brothers, Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd. They were some of my favorite friends. Laurel and Hardy. And Laurence Olivier, Ronald Coleman, you know, Lost Horizon, you know, some of the greatest movies. You know, they call them the kitchen movies here in the UK, were these working class movies about people in London and in the UK making their lives. Some of the greatest cinema in the world was made in the UK. And I don't know if you guys watch older movies from the UK. Go on Netflix, go online. Buy these UK movies, because I grew up on them. Some of the most wonderful acting you'll ever see was by, you know, English and Scottish and Irish actors. And of course, The Commitments, you know. There were some really amazing movies.
Lock, stock, and two smoking barrels.
But it's true, some of my favorite movies when I was growing up was English cinema. So thank you for that question. Thank you so much.